Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you might be. My name is Greg Earhart. I'm here with my sidekick, Scott Kitzman.
Hello, everybody.
Appreciate y'all joining us for the exciting topic of meat entries. We're excited to show you what we've got going today. You can tell Scott and I have really rehearsed, not as much as we should have, but Scott, let's kick her off.
Yeah, welcome everybody again. Thanks for joining us. We're going to create a meet on SwimCloud. I'm going to impersonate a high school coach from Bemidji, Scott Leindecker. And so if you take a look at my screen here, we're going to go to create a meet. So just click on meets in the left menu bar. Add a meet. We're going to create this manually. We're going to create a try meet for some teams starting on June 8th. It's in Bemidji. We're going to add some other teams. We're going to add our rival Champlain. We're going to add Delano, Watertown. And we're going to say that this meet's going to be held at our high school. Setting up the facility gives your fans and other competitors a lot of information about where to find the pool. We're going to set this up with some preset event lists that SwimCloud has. It's going to be a men's meet with some JV events and varsity. And here we show what our default entry rules are for individual events to athlete relays, 3, on and on. Typical scoring. Next. Here's the meet name. At SwimCloud, we try to standardize the meet names as much as possible to just, again, make it simple and easy. So we're going to save and we're going to actually open the meet. So here's the meet we just created. And the first thing that's going to come up, it says, hey, what are your seating preferences? And for the majority of collegiate and high school meets, it's lane-based seating. So we can go ahead and set up here that Bemidji High School is going to be in lanes 3 and lane 6. And Champlain is going to be in 2 and 5. Then Delano is going to be in 1 and 4. By doing this, when entries get done on SwimCloud, coaches doing the entries have the ability to put the swimmers in whatever events that they want. Another thing, we have scoring. We have typical 6-lane scoring, but because there's 3 teams, we can tell SwimCloud that we're going to use double dual scoring. Just come back here and review the entries deadline. So as the meet host, I'm the meet's going to be Saturday, June 8th. When do I want to get the entries so that I can do everything? I'm going to come up here and say I want the entries June 7th by noon. So that gives me the afternoon on Friday to track anything down that we need. Other things that we can do is we can go to the About tab as the meet admin. I set up the meet. I'm hosting the meet. Here's our facility. As the meet admin, because Bemidji's hosting, I'm probably going to remove these other coaches from my team because the meet administrator has complete control over the meet, and we don't want to have more cooks in the kitchen than what we need to. The next step that I would do as the coach is go ahead and set my roster for who's coming to the meet. So I've got it's a men's meet, so I'm going to flip over to my men's squad. I'm going to say, yes, Jaden's coming, Adam's coming, Braden's coming, Abraham is, Andrew didn't make grades, Fabian's sick, Nick, yes, so on and so forth. Additionally, because we have JV and varsity events specified, we can specify what events these swimmers are eligible to swim here. So that when we're doing entries on SwimCloud puts the right swimmer into the right spot. So now we've got a few swimmers entered, and I can go and do some entries for Jaden here. Oops. Here are my JV entries.
Now, as Scott is working on his lineup, I'm going to work on my lineup. I'm acting as Mark here. So I've set up my lineup, and I know who's going to be varsity, who's going to be JV. And I can come over here and I could import my entries. We're going to leave that to the Champlain coach, but I can pick it by event or by swimmer, whichever way I want to add people to events here. So I come back here and I go to add entries by event. We're going to put a couple of relays in there. It's going to put them in the 2 lanes that we've been assigned. That's for our JV, our varsity. We're going to do the same. 200 freestyle. I've already set up varsity and JV, and I may not have these exactly set the way you might have it for your place, but as you can see, we got some faster people in the JV heat. But this allows you to have complete flexibility over where you want to put somebody in. And let's say I want to come back here to Tyler, I'm going to also put Tyler in here. So this gives you an idea of how I can look at my roster and add events by swimmer in addition. So I can go through here. We're just going to complete the roster. We do support diving. So there's not going to be diving JV today, but we're going to go with 2 of our varsity divers. This might be a case where we actually get to add a 3rd person in. This 3rd person, I might mark as exhibition before the meet even begins. I'm going to add Scott on back to the stage. If he's got anything to add, I'm going to finish completing my lineup here. He's going to get his lineup. Scott, how you doing over there?
I'm doing well. Bemidji's lineup is in. Again, I'm the Bemidji coach. We can now come over here to my screen and we can see a few things as the meet administrator. I can see that Bemidji, I've got some entries in, they're in progress. Delano's entries are still in progress. But the Champlain Park coach isn't on SwimCloud. He's kind of old school. He emailed me an entry file. So I can still process his entries. So I'm going to come here to Champlain and I'm going to just import his entry file. I'm going to navigate to my computer folders. And it's importing. So here's the import file. Continue. SwimCloud plays well with everybody in the pool. We can read Team Manager, Team Unify, splash files. Here are the entries that came in from Champlain Park. It's all good. So we read this from the entry file. We come back over here.
Scott, one thing I want to point out here as you're looking at it, you can actually see that in real time that I'm working on my entries. So if you notice how the number of swimmers and relays goes up as I'm going through here.
That's correct.
You can actually, if you're a meet host, you can see that this is in progress. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my screen back to the stage. So I'm done with my meet entries now. And I can do a couple things. I can export them for people that are using old-fashioned meet managers like High-Tech. I can also print out my entries, which we'll come back to here in a moment. Or what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to submit my entries. So what just happened is I just submitted my entries to the host team. I just received an email receipt with a copy of my entries. So I know that they've been submitted. I don't have any, hey, where was it? Got lost in the email or I didn't put the attachment in there. We know that it's in. And the way that we know that it's in is if we come back here and we show Scott and he can see right there.
It's been submitted. There's a few other things that I can do as the meet administrator. This is a fairly simple meet. There's only 3 people in the meet or 3 teams. SwimCloud has a meet feed. When we click on the meet feed, we can see everything that happened to the meet. So we see here that Coach Mark Seguin submitted the entries for the first team. You can see events being updated, who started entries, who did what. Another thing that we have built in is we've got built-in CRM. Let's say you're running a bigger meet and you want to contact all the coaches that haven't submitted their entries. So if I click this, an email would be sent to my team and the other team that hadn't submitted their entries yet. Or if I want to send one to all the coaches, this is a meet out in Minnesota. So in the winter, hey coaches, snowstorm, meet's going to be delayed by, a few hours. Very, very simple to contact people. Teams with entries in progress. Hey, get your entries done. They're due by noon. I noticed you haven't started your entries. You can go ahead and get going on your entries or contact me with any questions. SwimCloud makes it easy because the old days of everybody existing in their own silo, where I have my team manager database and you have yours, and I'm running a meet on this meet manager database. SwimCloud, everybody's playing in the same data pool. So the status of everybody in the meet, everybody in the option here is visible.
So what we're going to show next is just something that you can do. Once the meet has been set up and everything, you've passed the entry deadline, you can actually go in here and run reports. So if I want to, if I'm the meet host, look at Bemidji's entries, I can do so here. Okay. If I want to look at my own entries, I can do this. So now I'm not logged in as Mark anymore. I'm actually logged in as administrator. But if I'm Mark, I can look at my own entries. I can't look at another team's entries yet. Okay. What I can also do, though, is I can come back, and if this had fewer than 14 events, I could run an entry matrix report. If I want, I can print out a split sheet before I even get on the team bus. Okay. I can also go one event per page. You'll notice these split sheets already set up.
Greg, are you on the report tab?
Oh, I'm sharing the wrong tab. Here we go. Now I'm back with reports. Sorry about that, folks.
It's all right.
So I can look at split sheets here for my team. I can print them out even before I get up on the bus. If I want to run a psych sheet of the meet, I can go ahead and do so here. That's obviously going to be not as important in a dual meet. If I'm the meet host and I need heat sheets, I can create heat sheets here. I can display them in 2 columns. One of the things that you can do, I talked about before you get on the bus, we've all had that situation where kid comes up to you in a meet and says, "How'd I do, coach?" And you go, you know what? You look good. You could probably be a little faster going out and a little faster coming in. Good job. And send them away because you missed their event. One thing that you can do here is you can highlight your team, print out your own heat sheet before you get on the bus, and then head off to the bus and never miss another swimmer. Other reports that are available will be the results, timeline, timer sheets. Once this meet is complete, you can print off meet results anytime. You can download your own result file, and if you want to use your old-fashioned team manager, you never have to worry about, hey, could you send me another file? I lost this. I can't do the results. If you've been in the meet, you can print out the report that you need. You can download the result file that you need, and those result files are also compatible with swims. Scott, did we miss anything shy of actually plugging it in and running it?
Yeah, let's say I want to show people how I can, move people around, do some things, because mistakes happen, miscommunications happen. I can come here to an event. So I selected an event here off on the left, and each event has a different status. Here are the entries. This would be the heats. So these are the heats that have been assigned by the coaches. And let's say, I want to move this swimmer around here. I could do that as the meet admin. Champlain Park comes up and wants to add somebody. We can do that. Oops, that person got too many. Moving swimmers around and doing things are very, very easy. Another thing that gets missed a lot is the first heat or the second heat a scoring heat? Well, if you've got 2 heats, it's very easy to say that this one is going to be, this whole heat is exhibition. So we'll go ahead and mark all these as exhibition. The 3 dots here on SwimCloud bring up a lot. We're going to unmark it, or we don't need this heat. I'm going to delete it. SwimCloud is flexible and as easy as what it should be. Once you understand kind of how the thought process works and you're able to break out of the old way of doing things, it makes it much easier. So if somebody gets assigned to a wrong lane or a wrong heat, no worries. It can all be dragged and dropped very, very easily.
Scott, one thing we didn't rehearse and we didn't talk about, but knowing some of the folks that we have on here, is we're showing a dual meet here, or a double dual meet. And this is something that if we run this meet, we'll score it as a double dual, and we'll have separate scoring for JV and varsity. But as you scroll down there, one of the things that we haven't talked about are our championship meet features in the meet rules. And so if this was a championship meet and this meet is set up and being used for SwimCloud, we also have quite a few features that are add-on features here, so that if you want to have time standards, if you want to have, I don't even know what you'd want to have, but you can, we almost give you enough tools to really hang yourself in terms of some crazy features.
It's very, very powerful. You can set up time standards. They can be imported by age groups and different courses if that's needed. That's why we have this kind of set off here. Opening this tab up brings up a whole new world of possibilities. You can look at multiple courses. Do you want to allow teams to overwrite their seed time? You can take this off, and it will only use times that are found in SwimCloud's database. Do you want to accept times from other teams? So, for example, we do the meet entries for the YMCA national meet. The YMCA wants to use times from high school. So when this is checked, we'll look at a swimmer's best time, whether it was at the YMCA club or at the high school. All sorts of permutations and rules are in here. And it's as the current screen shows, we've done meet entries for a multitude of meets, from the Y National meet to the Pan Am Games, NAIA championships, numerous high school associations across the country, and quite a few in the international realm too. Greg,
we appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you.
We try to respect your time. Thanks, Scott, for letting us use you as an example today. And again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We want to be different than other meet managers out there, and that means if you call one of those numbers, that's who you're going to get, not some faceless person halfway around the planet.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.